Hello, and welcome to Forward, Mississippi State University's television show exclusively for the College of Education. I'm Camille Carskadden, the Communications Specialist for the college, and today we have Director of Bands, Ms. Elva K. Lance. Hello.
Hi.
Thank you for coming on to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So tell me a little bit about your position.
So I'm Director of Bands, and but that is part of a leadership team. I came here in 1992 as Assistant Director to longtime Director of Bands Kent Sills, and then was named Director of Bands in 2002. And I have two colleagues that are wonderful colleagues that we enjoy working together very much enjoy working together as a leadership team, Dr. Cliff Taylor and Dr. Craig Arhus. So the three of us provide the leadership for the famous Maroon Band program here on campus.
Wonderful. And can you tell me a little bit about the famous Maroon Band over the years?
Well, the first musician that we have recorded here on campus was the bugler, and he obviously had a function with providing signals for the A&M cadets at that time. And then a group of students petitioned the body that was serving as the college board, if you will, to start a band on campus. So in 1902, so I understand, there was a permission given and a group formed, and they had interim part-time band directors until 1916. And the way they got students, because really at that time there were no school band programs in our state, and so they would advertise nationally for people to come south and play in the A&M cadet band. And obviously their function was to play for the drilling of the A&M cadets on our drill field, hence the name of the drill field on campus. And but the first official band director was Carl Leake in 1916, and at that time the position served two purposes. He, in addition to working with the band, also taught woodworking on campus, and then the gentleman who followed him that served more than 30 years here from 22 to 52, Mr. Walmsley, served as the postmaster on campus. So they had dual roles, and Mr. Walmsley realized that if he was to have a successful band here on campus, he needed to have some school band experience for the students in our region. And so he started these summer band director camps, clinics, workshops, where teachers in the communities could come into the campus, and he would train them as how to teach the instruments and so forth, and they would go back and start their bands in their communities. And he was looking at that as having a positive recruiting impact on his work here at Mississippi State. And so in 1926, so I understand, the band broke with the tradition of the A&M cadet uniforms. They had gone to Meridian for the football game between between A&M and the University of Alabama, and it was played at the fairgrounds, as many of the football games were at that time. And so the band wore maroon coats in honor of the Maroons, maroon coats and white pants. And a sports writer said, "Here comes that famous Maroon Band," and so that moniker has stuck over the years.
Wonderful. And you've been here for over 25 years, correct?
Yes.
So what was the band like when you first started?
Well, we have historically always had a very diverse enrollment, diverse as far as the background of the students. We have, and that's certainly true today, we have a lot of students from small towns in Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, and as the university's footprint has grown regionally and nationally, that has happened in our band program as well. When I first came here in 1992 as assistant, we had about 82% of the band from the state of Mississippi, and now it's about 62% of the band. So as the university has expanded the footprint, that has impacted the band as well, which is positive. But we have students studying just about every major you can think of on campus. They represent every college and school on campus. We have every year between 30 and 40% of the band students studying engineering, and that has typically been so down through the years.
Great. And what about this year's band? Because it's quite large, correct?
It is, yes. So we have 415. When we started camp, we had 420, and we have settled our enrollment at 415, which is the largest enrollment that we've had on campus that we can document. And the students do still represent every major. They are from 17 different states. We have one international student from Colombia who's here as a percussion major. And we have wide range of interest and backgrounds. We have some students who are from bands that are 200 in members or even more, and we have some students who are from bands where our trumpet section is bigger than their entire band was when they were in high school. So the other day one of my colleagues said that there are 65 towns in Mississippi that are smaller than the famous Maroon band at this time. So, but they represent a wide range of majors on campus, with engineering still being the largest group. We have a lot of vet medicine, we have a lot of architecture, business, and certainly we have our music majors. And the band experience for the music majors serves as a living lab for them, what they're studying in their classes and performance practices on their instrument. Then we obviously can utilize those skills and help grow those skills with their band experience, and certainly the opportunities for leadership in our marching band, because in order to personalize the experience, we take the large band and then we have sections within the band and a section leader, and then we have squads within that group to bring the large experience down to a smaller group to help personalize the experience. So there are a lot of leadership opportunities for students within the band program as well.
Fantastic. And do you think there will come a time when you put maybe a cap on how many members that y'all can take?
Well, we really did that this year without really advertising that fact. We want the best musicians who are enrolling at Mississippi State. We want them in our band program, but we do have a limit on the resources, the space, the storage of the instruments, the uniforms. So we really had a cap. We really are happy with our enrollment size. Between 375 and 425 is a good number for us, we think. And so we probably all of our students have auditioned, and so we probably turned away approximately 50 this year that auditioned for the band, that had an interest in being in our program, but we were just unable to take them.
I know that all of the members of the band are very hardworking individuals. So when does, band season officially kick off?
Well, there isn't really a band season because we have activities throughout the year that are very comprehensive music program, if you will. But we start our school year a week and a half before school starts, and we bring in our percussion and our leadership during that time, and then we have all of the students report a week before school starts. And we have a very intense preschool band camp, much like the football team with the 3-a-days and the 2-a-days. We have wall-to-wall band. We're outside in the morning and we are outside in the evening, and then we have afternoon music rehearsals as well. And we rough in our pregame show for the season. We rough in our first halftime show, music and drill, and we read our music for the second and third halftime show that we might do, and we read our cheers, and we go to the stadium and work out our seating and our horn flashes that we do with our cheers. And so that concentrated time is really the only extra rehearsal time that we get. Once classes begin, we just have band from 5 to 6, and we think we've hit upon something with our rehearsal. We wish we'd have more rehearsal time, but we think we've hit upon something that allows us to have good retention in our band program, because in addition to our new students, when the spring semester ended last year, we had 285 returning members to band. And so we were very proud of that fact. We have approximately, slightly less than 2/3 of the band, are returning members each year, and so we're very proud of that. And so we think our rehearsal schedule allows us to keep those engineers and vet medicine majors and people who are in very rigorous academic pursuits on our campus, and but have an interest and a passion for continuing to make music.
Wonderful. And can you tell us a little bit about the upcoming halftime shows?
Okay, so we just finished and we'll do it again this week, our royalty show, if you will. And we played Queen and Michael Jackson and, of course, a little Elvis. And then last week we brought in our high school band day student participants. We had approximately 250 of those students from, I believe it was 80 different high schools. So that's a recruiting event for us, because if we can get them to Scott Field and they can be a part of the Bulldog game atmosphere, that's very positive for us. And this week we will bring our alumni band out onto the field, and it's also Parent Day. So those are big events for us. And then we'll start working on our Savage show, which is our second show, and that is Cold as Ice and some other current tunes, Lips Are Moving, and some more current tunes that our show selection committee, which is a student committee, has recommended to us. And so our arrangements for our halftime shows, our musical arrangements, are done by Cliff Taylor, my colleague, and the percussion parts are written by Jason Baker, who teaches percussion on campus. So as I said earlier in our opening part of the conversation, it really is a team effort. But we'll begin that show, and then in November we'll have homecoming, of course, and we'll have our annual patriotic show, which involves our choir and is always very well received by the audience. The ROTC units help us with that, and so we feature and recognize veterans in that performance as well. So those are our big shows every year, of course. And then our pregame, which includes spell outs and school songs and things that involve the crowd.
Fantastic. So what happens once football in the fall concludes? What goes on with the band during that time?
Okay, so the marching band that you see on the field, those students are not only, many of them are not only just participating in the marching band, but some of them are playing in our jazz band, which is a year-round ensemble. Some of them are playing in our wind ensemble, which is our top concert program on campus, and that will continue in the spring. And some of them are playing in other chamber groups within the music department. And then we will audition the other members of our marching band. And in the spring, we will audition them for chair placement. And in the spring, we will have 5 concert bands. So 4 additional concert bands in the spring will be added to the wind ensemble as well, and then our jazz band. And then we have basketball pep band for men and women's basketball, and we host a big event at the end of January that is much like, we call it the Super Bulldog Weekend of our band program, because it's a big recruiting event for us in the spring semester, and we will have more than 300 students audition for placement in 3 concert honor bands, and then we will have them on campus for a week and get to work with them, and so that's a big recruiting event. It's also an audition weekend for us, that last part of January. So the spring is very busy for us too. There's really not an off season with band, just a different experience for our students in music making.
Wonderful. And if incoming students or high school students wanted to know more about the famous Maroon Band, where would they need to go to get that information?
Well, they can certainly visit the website, the band website, and they can just do a Google search for the Mississippi State University Band. And also our Roadrunners have a lot of information. They can call the band office, and we're always interested in prospective students. If there's a prospective student visiting our campus, we certainly want, and they're a band student, we certainly want to talk with them.
Well, wonderful. Well, thank you so much for coming on to the show.
Thank you.
For more information about the College of Education, visit educ.msstate.edu.